Hello, my name is Tila, and today I'm going to be making Tonkatsu Curry. So, this is my first video, so please bear with me. But I think if you're looking for some meal inspiration, I can be of help. So, let's get to the video, shall we? So today I'm going to be using the S&B Golden Curry sauce mix. I always get the medium hot, but they also have mild, hot, extra hot, you name it. For other ingredients, we're going to have a couple carrots, 1 potato, half this onion, and then 4 pork chop loins, and also 3 bowls for our dipping the pork chops. So first we're going to cut our vegetables, peel them, then cut. So you see I cut the carrots at kind of by a diagonal, and I show you about how big they should be. I like to cut them that big because I want them to stay whole in the curry. And I have a pretty big potato, so I'm going to be showing you about how big you want the pieces to be, about 1 inch. A little bit bigger maybe because mine did not hold up well to the boiling, but we'll get to that later. And lastly, I'm going to cut up the onion. Here I kind of diced it, but I think traditionally it would be more of a long slice, but I have picky eaters who probably wouldn't like that. When it comes to preparing the pork, I kind of cut like some diagonal slices on it and then crisscross that. As you can see, I tried to show you in the video. And that's just going to help it cook a little bit and also help the seasoning to get into the pork before you bread it. So we're just going to do that to all 4 of the pork chop loins. These are about 1 inch tall, I'd say, and they're center cut pork loins. Center cut pork chops is what you're going to be looking for, but really you could use any cut of pork. I've seen lots of videos where they use different types of pork. So here are the 3 bowls that I had by the pork earlier. We're going to use those to be dipping our pork loins in. In the first bowl I put some flour, and the last I put some panko, which I should have slowed down in the picture, but I'll include it in the description box. And in the middle, of course, we have some egg for dipping. I didn't season any of these, and I didn't show it, but I did season the pork pretty generously on both sides with salt and pepper. It is like a sin to under-season pork with salt, so make sure you do that good, and plus your toppings aren't going to have any seasoning on them either, so keep that in mind. So we're just going to do that to all 4 pork loins. Make sure you roll it around and even get the sides. And you see I ran out of panko, but it's better to have a little bit less to start with so you don't use too much. And now that we've finished that, we clean up our workstation, and I'm going to show you a close-up of how it's supposed to look. Panko has an interesting texture, so you're going to want to get these crumbs if you're going to want to make authentic Japanese tonkatsu. Next, I'm going to get my cast iron pan, put it at about medium heat, and fill it with vegetable oil. Most of the time people deep fry the tonkatsus. The pork cutlets, but this is totally fine. It turned out great. You just have to make sure you pay attention to it and flip it a few times while cooking it. And it's at that point I remembered that I forgot to start the rice. So we see here, this is kind of how I measure out my rice. Just follow your rice cooker's instructions on how to cook rice. And I did about 3 cups. Next, we're going to start on our curry. First, I put in some oil, and then I put in my onions, and you're just going to saute those for a minute. I also added garlic, but that's kind of a personal preference thing. I don't think it's traditionally used in curry. And after those have been cooking for a minute, we can add our potatoes and carrots. Just kind of stir those around for a minute as well. And look at all this while it's cooking. You don't want to have your oil too high. As you can see, the bubble rate around mine, medium is a good temperature to be frying those in. And then just follow the S&B Golden Curry's instructions. It'll tell you how much water to have. I did a half portion here, so it was 2 3/4 cup of water. And then we just flip our pork cutlets. And I was impatient, so I put a lid on top of my curry to help it cook faster. And then don't forget, keep flipping those pork cutlets. After cooking for I'd say about 10 minutes and constantly flipping, you'll see the color is a good indication of when it's done. I just line the inside of a little type of baking casserole dish with some paper towel so I could lay those in while the curry is finishing cooking. And it's a beautiful golden brown and nice and crunchy, so we're just gonna lay that in there to drain. If you're not too confident in your deep frying skills, you can totally check your pork cutlets and you'll be able to see pretty quickly whether it needs to cook longer or not. And these were great. So now we break open the good stuff. As I mentioned before, I am doing a half portion, so we're just gonna follow the guidelines on the back and break up the 4 cubes that are inside half of the golden curry box. Oh, and our vegetables are done boiling. They've been boiling for 15 minutes at this point, as according to the box. Now you want to turn off the heat and start to stir in your curry mix. And after you've mixed it for a while and it's broken down, it should look something like this. Be careful because those potatoes will start breaking. They are sensitive at this point. And I'm just showing you my second batch. If you got an oil skimmer, you should definitely use it because it'll help your cutlets stay pretty, but they taste just fine. They're ugly, but they're pretty. So lastly, all we have to do is plate. You see here I'm kind of breaking up my rice and getting it ready to put on the plate first. It's nice and hot, ready to be eaten. Taking a while to plate it because I'm trying to get my plate picture ready for y'all. So after you have a good amount, you just put your curry and then I put the pork cutlet on top after you cut it up into bite-sized pieces. Easy enough to grab with the chopstick. So there you have it. After you follow these simple instructions and also the instructions on the curry box, you have Tonkatsu Curry. Authentic Japanese food. Excuse my dog in the background. But it is so good and it's very popular westernized Japanese dish that you can make at home very easily. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Have a good one.